have a Federalist article here. Police report about Pete Hugseth alleged sexual assault vindicates him of criminality. All the evidence indicates Pete Hugseth was pursued by a married woman who then regretted her decision to have an affair. What you're going to hear now in the coming days from the national media is that there are graphic details about a police report related to an alleged sexual assault involving Pete Hugseth, President-elect Donald Trump's incoming nominee for defense secretary. It's certainly graphic, but the media will bet you won't bother reading the report, which is in reality looks really bad for the alleged victim and effectively clears Hegseth of criminality. The 22-page report details an incident from 7 years ago. In 2017, Hegseth, then a Fox News celebrity, attended an event for a Republican women's group as a featured speaker. The way the media has relayed the event so far is that the woman in attendance has accused Hegseth of dragging her to an after-party before raping her in the hotel room. Outside the alleged victim's admittedly incomplete recollection, none of the testimony or evidence included in the police report suggests the claim. In truth, all of it indicates that the accuser lied to her husband, who was in her hotel room, while she gallivanted at night with Hegseth and other attendees before voluntarily joining him in his room to have consensual sex. Events took place in early October 2017, and it includes multiple eyewitness testimonies and text messages evidence of what took place before and after the alleged assault. The alleged victim is identified only as Jane Doe after the night of the moderate drinking, during which Doe says that at some point felt she has been drugged. Joe said that she remembered few details, but that she recalled inexplicably finding herself in Hegseth's hotel room, did the juice on her body, and that she thereafter went to her own room to join an unnamed person in bed. Text messages she shared with police indicate that the person was her husband and that there were other parties in the room, likely children. Doe ended up in contact with the police after she saw a medical provider to administer a sexual assault exam. The provider was required by law to tell police of the allegation that was shared by Doe. Doe told police that she did not recall drinking heavily on that day, but then later said that she did at some point. She confronted Hegseth by the hotel pool about the way that he had behaved with the other woman that night when she found inappropriate. She would also tell police that she recalled asking Hegseth in his hotel room if he had a condom. And that's the exact point, things have gotten turned in her favor. The rest of the report, in an overwhelming replication of the version of the events, included the text exchanges with her husband, wherein she reportedly mentions Hegseth, omits that she was spending time with him at the after-parties. Testimonies from other women in the attendance who said Doe never appeared overserved and, in fact, seemed completely coherent throughout. Surveillance footage video that showed Doe and Hegseth walking around with the locked arms, and the hotel staff member who recalled engaging Doe and Hegseth by the pool. At the time, Hegseth was belligerent, and Doe guided Hegseth away from the conflict. The report ends with the Hegseth's version of events, in which he admits he only initiated sex with Doe after she took him to his room, and says that the two of them reportedly expressed reservations about the intimacy. He said that the two of them agreed to the affair needed to remain secret. If there was one corroborated piece of Doe's story, it's that Hegseth also recalled that she asked him if he had a condom. Jane Doe stated that she used a condom when she had sex with her husband after the alleged assault. The explanation for that is redacted. But thereafter, the report says Jane Doe stated that had some sort of juice and was diagnosed with bacterial infection, a condition that is caused by having sex with multiple partners. Text messages with her husband, who was at the conference, show Doe asking him if he was familiar with Hegseth, referring to him as TDB Light. The mini TDB, which appeared to meant as insults, Doe's husband replies, "Oh, you mean the man who tried to have sex with my wife?" and not a good first impression for Pete. Doe's husband told police that it was at 4 a.m. when his wife returned to their shared room. Jane Doe arrived at their hotel room, accessed the room on her own, and had only used the key reader to get in. The report said Jane Doe told her husband that she must have fallen asleep. Jane Doe was apologetic. Her husband noticed that Jane Doe did not have a hard time walking and was not slurring her words. Hotel staff told police that He encountered Doe in Hegseth at the pool, and Jane Doe placed her hand and arm in the back of Hegseth and escorted him away. The staffer described Hegseth as very intoxicated. By contrast, he said Doe was not intoxicated and, in fact, standing on her own and was very coherent. Of hotel surveillance video, the report said that the video showed Jane Doe and Hegseth walking together and arms locked together. Hegseth's testimony also goes into detail about what happened in the hotel room and maintains it was consequential. No charges were ever brought, and Hegseth paid the woman a settlement fee at the time to make the drama go away. Nobody should be left with questions about what happened here. All of the evidence indicates Hegseth was pursued by a married woman who then regretted her decision. So, again, the thing is, this story is about her having an affair, and once you pay some hush money for her to stop telling the story, it should be a known fact not to tell the story. I mean, I just don't know what's going on here. She wants to come out with her side of the story, but the thing is, she was paid hush money. Once you're paid hush money, you need to keep it hush. You need to shut your mouth because you were paid not to talk about the scenario. Again, because this was years ago, it was already settled. There was a settlement fee. You were paid off. You consensually had sex with him. You then regretted it after, but there's no such thing as a time machine, so you can't go back in the past and replay that decision. You can't. You just can't. So I just don't understand what's happening here. Of course, the media wants to just spin this because of the fact that they want to actually make Hegseth look like the bad villain in the story, but of course, it's Jane Doe in the story that was actually the bad person.